My name is Steve Minton. I'm a neonatologist. I've actually been a neonatologist for about 48 years. In fact, I'm board certified number 54 neonatologist in the United States. That means I'm old, and I've been around a long, long time. In 1979, I was at the University of Utah, and I decided at that point that the model that we were using of having interns, residents, medical students, everybody seeing patients, and then when they graduated, they weren't allowed to see those patients anymore, was not a model that had long-term lasting. So I left the university and I opened the first non-university newborn ICU in the United States. Unfortunately, no other neonatologist would leave the comfort of the university and come with me. So for 7 years, I was on by myself. Now I say that, and that's not exactly true. I had nurses, respiratory therapists, occupational therapists, social workers, great administrators, and a great group of pediatricians. But I basically lived in the hospital. And that 7 years taught me some important lessons that I have used since then for the last 33 years. The first one was I found out that oftentimes things weren't done by the staff. And when I went back to find out why, I found out I was the bottleneck. People did not want to cross the doctor. People didn't want to necessarily go out on a limb. That people waited for me to come up with an idea and then say, that's great. So I was the bottleneck that restricted the growth and the development that took place in there. The second thing I found out is that people have a great desire to be mentored, to be taught. They want to expand. They want to get to the top of the scope of their practice. They want to feel important. And many times we don't give them that opportunity. Sometimes it's faster to do it yourself rather than teach someone and they're a little bit slower. But over time, bringing 170 people up to the top of their scope gets a lot more done than having one person at the top of the scope and everybody else restricted down. The third thing I learned was delegation. That sometimes we feel we can do everything, but you actually can't do everything well. And it's better to delegate out and teach and mentor and allow other people to grow than it is just to keep it all within yourself. The fourth thing that I learned is that often when we graduate, not only do we not have mentoring, we don't get measurement. You do the same thing 4 times in a row and no one gives you negative feedback, you believe you've found the truth. You believe you got it, and you'll keep doing it over and over and over, making the same mistake. We don't like to tell people negatives, but it's important to give people the opportunity to improve. And so as part of our system, we introduced real-time measurement and real-time feedback to people as they're doing it. So that you don't go a year and then find out what you did wrong. You constantly are improving and changing it and getting to a point where it becomes part of your job. Measuring what you do, evaluating what you're doing, changing it is your job, not just taking orders off that a doctor gives you. The next thing I really learned was many times we say, well, they got a raise. Guess what? If I go in my unit and I say to a nurse, thank you for picking up on that. I missed that. You just made a difference in this baby's life. That is more important to them than any raise that they ever get. Public congratulations and praise is important. And then that sort of brought me to the last thing about how important family is. When you're in a newborn ICU like I am, and you're working with people and it's a life and death scenario, you need to treat each person, whether that is a family member or it's the nurse or the therapist or whatever, you need to treat them like you want to be treated as a family member. You want them to feel that you are doing the absolute best that you can do, and the baby is being treated just like it's your own baby, right? So those are the things that I learned in those first 7 years, and I've tried to apply them over the last period of time. The unit now is 55 babies, and we have great outcomes. and our staff has very little turnover, because what I found is for me to be successful, the people around me need to be successful. And if we're all successful, the parents pick up on it, they trust us. Implicitly, they go home and sleep at night because they don't have to stay there and protect their child from people that they don't know. And when I'm in a restaurant later on and people come up to me, they never come up and say, "You were my baby's doctor." They always come up and say, "You saved my baby's life." Sorry.
It's okay.
We may have to do that last little
We'll
bit.
just do that last little bit one more time.
Hello, it's Stephen.